This is another episode of the Journey Cast. We are coming at you live with Sep, the VP of Founder Success at Venture Lab. Guys, if you don't know Venture Lab, you need to know of it. It's an incredible organization in Canada, pushing forward hardware tech founders, incubating incredible companies, and helping them really, really grow. Sep, I want to thank you for being on the show. Feel free to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do,
For sure.
Feel comfortable.
No, thank you very much, Zach, for having me here. It's great to be here, and I just was thinking about the time that you and I were connected a couple of months ago, and it seemed like ages to me. So exactly. So my name is Sep. I'm the VP of the Founder Success here at Venture Lab. I have been with Venture Lab for almost 7 years. And I have been in the different roles. Before that one, I had a chance to work with the different ecosystems all across the globe, in the Middle East, South Asia, and Europe, before I moved to Canada and started to working in the innovation ecosystem here in Canada. Prior to that one, I also had my own startup in the microelectronics, and I sold it out and moved to the other side of the table. And that's why I feel all the pain.
Yeah.
that founders go through that one every day, and I appreciate every effort all the founders put together, because I know how hard it is, specifically when you are in the hardware.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's a beautiful fit. For those who are not listening, why don't you tell us what Venture Lab is and why it's so important?
For sure, definitely. Venture Lab is the only accelerator and incubator focused on the hardware and semiconductor in Canada, and one of the top, I can say it's 3 in North America. We have been in the business for almost 14 years. And in the last 6 years, we have launched a program called Hardware Initiative, Caracalis Initiative. And that program, it's all about supporting the companies in the hardware and the semiconductor and the hard tech to move along and commercialize their products and grow and scale globally. That's what we do at Venture Lab. We have a lab. And you have been there.
Been there.
Yeah, and I believe this is a huge game changer for the companies that they are in the hardware. Access to the capital and the device are the most challenging part for any hardware company or a hard tech company to grow and scale. And we try to tackle that one and build that lab, as well as providing the support like the advisory, access to the talent, to the partners. And I believe what we built as a community, it's what's exactly needed for any hard tech company to grow from the Canadian ecosystem to the global market. That's what we do at Venture Lab. And by all means, I invite any hardware company in Canada or outside of Canada, because we also have some opportunities for international hardware companies to come to Canada and build and scale from Canada and sustain here. So if you're interested, just come and visit us or visit our website. So
let's get really deep into it. I'm a founder. I'm working on my hardware company. I got a product. My professors told me that it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Why do I want to be at Venture Lab?
So first of all, there is no other place you go. I'm kidding, but definitely the value proposition for the founders to come to the Venture Lab is around 4 pillars we can offer at Venture Lab. Definitely, it's about, first and the most, it's about the people we have at Venture Lab. We are a group of the founders and entrepreneurs that they have been in the hardware ecosystem, in the semiconductor ecosystem with the different hats.
These are the staff that are...
Yeah, exactly. We have advisors, we have executive in residence. So we are talking about the group of the 100 of the experts in that area that they can offer the advisory support for the companies that tell them what they don't know, and tell them the stuff that they think they know, but they might not know everything of that one. So sometimes there is an assumption that I know everything, but definitely we know that it's not true.
Yeah.
So that's one critical piece, that the people we have around us. The second piece is about that the ecosystem we built around Venture Lab by the names that can help you as a hardware company and a hard tech company to grow and scale globally. Name it. Any key player in the hardware ecosystem you can think of it, we have a connection with that. Intel, Amazon, Microsoft, Dell, AMD, ARM, so Synopsys, everybody. So if you think about that, okay, I need a facility to go and build my prototype. Okay, MicroArt, one of the largest one in the medical devices, Sterling Industries. I'm looking for Siemens solution on the product development. We have it. So technically, if you are in that world, you know that how expensive and how hard get access to any of these connections and these products. And definitely what we provided is bringing all of these key players around the table to tell you and help you to grow and scale. That's the message we want to send, that these people are there for you as a founder on that one. The third piece, as I mentioned, is our lab. Generally speaking, for any hardware company, the key challenge is about upfront investment to set up any lab to test, to see if their product work or not. Exactly. And it's not only about to just see if it work or not. It's about to go through all the regulatory, about the standards, all stuff that you need to achieve before go to the market. And it's costly. The testing, each test could be cost around $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000. And imagine, without having the facility to test it before go to these regulatory arms, you are going there totally blind. And then you test it, fail. Next time, fail. And then you learn it. Exactly. And it's your investment money. It's your money go out of your pocket. So that lab gives you that mindset that, okay, I don't need to kind of to spend that much money. I will try it there for free as much as I want, and then I will move on. So for you as a founder, so think about it. If you have an investor, the investor is expecting to see a return. The return is not about buying the oscilloscope. It's not about failing in the test. It's about moving faster in your progress of the commercialization and get to the market.
Skipping that first step.
Exactly. And it's about getting to the market faster, get to the talent, and think about what's next on your product rather than stuck in that product prototyping. So that lab can easily do two things. One is facilitating the access to the equipment, which means that you don't need to upfront investment, which might cost easily for any startup in the hardware between $3 to $5 million upfront investment, which is not available.
Not for early stage,
Exactly. And the second one is expedite the opportunity for commercialization and get to the market faster. That could be cut between 1.5 to 2 years. Can you imagine for a startup in the earliest stage, that 2 years mean what? Being or not being in the business.
100%.
So that's what we are there on that one. And the last piece that it's about that hard tech investor network. That is about the early stage investment and also how we can help you. Now you have a product. Now you have the product that's ready to go to the market. You need the money. And where you should go for that money. And in Canada, you know that. It's not easy.
It's not easy
you talk to Thomas Park from the BDC Deep Tech, and they are maybe only the only place compared to the couple other that focus on that area, but you don't see that too much. And this is what we put together, that network and that community of the investors to support the founders.
Beautiful.
So the founder, that's a place to go because you at least a couple of steps ahead of any other competitor in the market.
I love it because it's like there's two things that stick out to me most. Number one, I think it's also the energy in that room. So, you have guys who have been in the hardware space for 20 years, 50, 20, 30 years over you. Hey, buddy, you need to look at it like this. Try it like this. So you have access to that knowledge. You got access to the lab. But again, most importantly, like you said, being able to skip that round and focus on the product and move forward with it is really important. So how does it work? Do founders apply? Do they have to give some of the equity of the company? Like, how does it work essentially to become a VL company?
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I can tell this is a competitive process, but the good news is that we're expanding our capacity around that one. There's an application process for any company that want to join Venture Lab and that hardware Catalyst initiative. There's an application open 2 times a year. They apply for that one.
Cool.
There's a process, the selection process. They go through that one, and then we give them a chance to jump to our boot camp. So that boot camp give our advisors connect to the founder and work with them. And then as soon as they feel that they are ready to take the 2 years journey with us, we get them onboarded. And it's a 2 years free access to all I mentioned 24/7.
The people, the equipment.
The people, equipment,
the space.
lab, space, partners. And that's a huge step for any startup to see themselves as part of that program for 2 years, engaged. And we have a number of the kind of successful companies in the last 5 years running that program that I will love to kind of mention. Couple of them that now they are in the success of their product. They are in the successful. They are seeing it exactly.
So let's talk about these companies. What are some companies that have came through Venture Lab
for sure
in the last 5-10 years that you got to see? Run me down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the case studies that we have talked about them is a Blue Mind AI. Blue Mind AI is in the AI semiconductor. They developed their chip, and what they have done developing the semiconductor chip for AI calculation is the edge computing. So what they does, in a simple words, one, cutting the process time. So it's just kind of the real time. The second one is about the energy consumption. Mm-hmm. So imagine about all the AI solutions available.
Yep.
And it's growing fast.
Yep.
And there are some studies showing that for running all of these AI solutions, the energy needed.
We don't have it.
Exactly. It's equal to what we produce now.
We double.
And then imagine about the pace of the AI development.
Yep.
So there is no way with that energy consumption that exists for now for any AI solution, we can catch up on that one. Except that there is a technologies that can cut the energy consumption. And that's why Blue Mind AI did. Mm-hmm. So literally for any kind of those watch batteries, easily they can run their solution for 15 years without changing that battery.
Wow, that's incredible. So
it's phenomenal. And there is nothing comparable now exists in the market.
And this is what was built in VL at the beginning?
Yes.
This is what started? Talk to me about that.
Exactly. They came to the Venture Lab just with an idea, a prof, and there was a kind of one gentleman. One gentleman that was from the industry. They came together. They had an idea. They did some prototyping in the lab in the university based in Ottawa, but nothing solid as a commercialized product exists. And then they came to the Venture Lab and then access to the lab. And then we connected them to the right people. And then they onboarded those people. And then those people now is a part of the team and they built it. And now the second generation of the chip is already in the lab.
Development.
Exactly. Development is done. They have their tier one manufacturers line up to sign a contract with them. They raise money. They are in the Series A.
Are they still working at the VL?
Yeah, they are still at the VL. You can see their logo there. They have a team of, they were a team of 2. Now they are a team of 17.
Incredible.
That's a growth when I'm talking about that. And these jobs we're talking about, these type of the growth we are talking about is not happening a lot in Canada. And we should have it in Canada.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's why Venture Lab existed from day one, because we didn't have enough investment and focus on that area, and we lost a lot of opportunity in the last 20 years.
Of course, Canada's most well-known. We have the most brilliant engineers in the world. We have some of the brilliant people in transportation and manufacturing. Exactly. It's good because without VL, and I like to call it, for those who don't know, Venture Lab, we wouldn't get this company, which is super important, huge opportunity for us.
Exactly.
I also love that you also facilitate these intros. Like, okay, you're ready to talk to Amazon now. Okay, you're ready to talk to ARM or whatever company it is, Mosaic maybe. Yeah. You're ready to talk to these bigger companies now, and you facilitate those introductions, and you have that that consulting. So do companies have to give equity or no, not at all?
No, not at all. As I said, because we are fully funded by the full level of government, thanks to our friends at FedDev. This is a program fully funded by the FedDev and the province of Ontario. So no equity involved, no cash involved, no fee involved, 2 years, access to everything for free. But you need to get through that selection committee. Exactly. Yep. Selection committee. Convinced that you're the best of the best to join. And then we definitely love to have you around us.
Here's another question, and we'll talk about more case studies after. I'm done my 2 years. I've had immense success. I don't want to leave. I don't want to stay because it might be more expensive it would be definitely more expensive to get a whole nother office with whole other tech. I want to stay at Venture Lab.
Definitely.
How do we do that?
Exactly. And it's, as I said, most of the time we hear that one, they want to stay. And by all means, because this is an ecosystem and this is a community we built for these companies. Exactly. To stay around. And there are always opportunity for them to stay around. So that program is 2 years.
Yep.
But there are opportunities for them to stay around. Now they can subscribe for access to the lab. And and the fees compared to anything exists, which is not, but imagine that it exists compared to that one. It's maybe kind of in 1/15th or 1/20th compared to the fee wise. And still it makes sense for them because it's still the advisors that they have worked with is around, the partners they work with is still around, the people that they built the team together are around. The lab is just kind of the couple steps away from them. So we love to keep them around. That's what we exist around that one. And one point that I want to mention to you, Zach, it's not only for the early stage companies, because generally speaking, as you mentioned about for Mosaic, for instance, Mosaic is a successful company, but there might be an opportunity for them that if they want to grow their products and they want to go after an investor, they don't want to kind of that convince the investor to invest for another facility to set up their testing
so they can
facility.
Just come have a little satellites, couple 6 months building there instead of building at the office.
Exactly.
I love that.
And then that's a kind of it's a win-win for everyone. That's why we are there, for them to be around the smaller companies, for the investor invest into Mosaic. So that's how
it's exciting.
You can make it sustainable to having more of these companies, not only the earliest stage, for mid stage, growing stage, scaling stage, to be around. Because that's the only way you can make the sustainability around all of these people to work together. And sometimes there are business opportunities happening there. Who knows?
People doing business together.
Exactly.
Let's talk about another company that you'd love to highlight. Get some more case studies about companies that came from VL. Something you want to highlight?
Yeah, definitely. So the other company that I really like and I believe that they did a great job around that one. It's called Autometrics. So the Autometrics is another AI company, but they are in the hardware as well. So they developed the hardware and AI software for the real-time inspection for the advanced manufacturing. So imagine that there is a welding machine there, and it's doing the welding, but the quality of that welding need to be approved before moving to the next phase. And it means that there are two ways. One is a trust to the machine that done that, or a robot, and move on. Or you have someone just kind of to the randomly pick and then say that, oh, that something is wrong, so let's remove that batch for a further inspection. But imagine that there is a camera and there is an AI on that one, and there is a device that do all the edge
for every single product
processing through that one, and then check the quality, done, move on, seconds. And that's what's the kind of the make change for the manufacturing, for the quality assurance. And that's what they have done. They work with the automotive industry. They have worked with other advanced manufacturing in the structures. So they have been successful. They have worked with a number of the companies in the automotive in Canada.
Oh, incredible!
Yeah, and as well as they have now some presence in the US. So that's another company that I really like them. And we have a variety of the companies in the clean tech. We have a company called Vesicin. Now they are developing their solution for composting, home-based composting in the kitchen. And you have seen them.
Yeah, they're at the event.
Exactly. So one of the beauty of the technology they developed, the quality of the compost they produce, Zach, it's equal to the kind of to the grade 1 that you can find in any of the markets in the field, in the compost area. And now they started from the kitchen. Now they are thinking about kind of to the expanding to the industrial size. Imagine about the kind of that bigger one that work for the greenhouses. The quality of the material is look at that, about the waste management, about the sustainability, and then about the economics of that one. So now they complete the cycle for the greenhouse.
And it's also put your money where your mouth is, right? You want to be a green tech company, invest into technology that's going to help you do that.
Exactly.
Especially in the industrial space. This is great.
That's how you see the kind of the hardware can make a huge difference in the real challenges that as a human we face. And the only solution you can find is in the hardware and the science.
100%.
It's not in the software. It's not in TikTok.
It's always been in the hardware.
Exactly.
It's always been in the hardware.
Exactly. Hardware is a home. And whenever other solution come to grow, they need a home to grow. And that's a hardware. And
100%.
Without owning the home, the chip. Exactly.
The tech.
Look at what happened to us after the COVID hit. And the challenge we went through that about the medical devices, the shortage of medical devices, the
everyone was fronting them.
ventilators, exactly, about
Yep.
the ventilators, and how much we suffered, but not having the ownership of the IP around those stuff.
Yep.
And now you heard about our neighbors to kind of do that, the CHIP Act with the
Yep.
CHIP Act with a $50 billion investment from there. And that's where Canada has a golden time.
Yeah.
That's not stay there forever.
Yeah.
And if we lose that, it's gone.
Yeah.
It happened 25 years ago when we had Nortel and we have a BlackBerry.
Yep.
And we lost that.
Yeah.
Nortel with almost 6,000 patents, 6,000
Yeah.
patents that all gone.
Yeah.
Now it's out of most of them are not in any Canadian company.
That's not good.
Most of them are outside.
US.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Majorly. And it's our taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
Ended up to become that.
So it's like we like birthed this incredible child, and now like they're living in the US and like LA. You know?
Exactly. No, that's a point. That's a reality. And
Yeah.
most of us have heard that story about that talented founders that ended up in these areas, try to commercialize.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea, brilliant product. They couldn't commercialize it because of not having the facility like venture lab, or not having kind of enough
There's no point. Let's
money.
just go to the States. I can meet investors there. I have a space there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there is a totally different mindset about approaching this type of the founders. And by ended up, what happened is that they don't see any future. They go after something that they can get paid their expenses and their life, and then they find it somewhere else. They backpack their IP and everything, and then go there, spend a couple of years, make a solid, make a good life, and then now they have some saving, and then they can see that the environment is all about helping them.
Yeah.
So now they just remember that, oh, there is a patent that I have in my backpack. Take it out, commercialize it where? Somewhere else, not Canada.
Yeah. So let's talk about the bigger picture here of Canada on the world stage. How are we doing in the hardware tech space? And what are some things that we can do better?
So definitely. So unfortunately, from where I'm sitting, it's about all the focus we did in the last 20 years in Canada was about the software.
Yeah.
Good job. We did a good job. We have some unicorns like Shopify, like Apply Abroad, a couple of them. We should proud of that one. But what we lost, it's all about that ownership of that IP on the hardware. And we know all of these solutions we were talking about, that one, need hardware as a home to grow and scale. And without having the ownership or our footprint on that one, we cannot be the leader on that one. And I don't want to get to the politics, but look at the geopolitical challenges right now. And every time you hear about the CHIP, and then what happened in Taiwan, and then all this the kind of the concern around that one, everyone starts to freak out.
Yeah.
And that's a point that, hey, Canada didn't good enough to make sure that all of these technologies that developed because of the talent that we have here in Canada, in the universities we have in Canada, get to the commercialized stage and stayed in Canada, owned by Canada. And by end of the day, we are not doing good there. I'm telling you. But I'm glad that 5 years ago when we pitched the idea to the feds, they understand it, and they started to leverage more support, and they invested that, and that's how FedDev invested almost $15 million with the collaboration with the province of Ontario in that area. Is it enough? No.
Yeah.
But it was a good start.
It's a good start.
That's what I'm saying.
And then make more.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's a way that we give a hope for the people that all the time in the last 20 years were in the shadow of this offer.
Yep.
Now they see that, okay, there is something that they can go and be around that.
Yeah.
And they can see that there is a hope at the end of the tunnel for them on the commercialization, on the access to the capital, on the access to the facility and the lab and all the stuff. So there is more conversation around the table in the all full level of government, not only the public sector, but on the private sector. And I believe that's what I call the golden time. And that's a time that Canada can do something different this time about the supporting the companies in the hardware.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking about the hardware and the hard tech, I'm talking about the medtech companies. I'm talking about the AI chip companies. I'm talking about the semiconductor
Be a hub
companies.
for it.
Exactly. So
All that money
these
for
are
us.
exactly
Yeah.
these companies creating the huge value and the
Mhm.
contribution on that one. There are some studies showing that when the companies get to the market, the valuation could be 10 times more compared to any software company in the same
Of
stage.
course.
Because of the solution they provide is more
It's also
global.
harder to build that, right?
Exactly. The
It's patents.
competitiveness, exactly.
Yeah.
The competitiveness is kind of to the less.
Yeah.
It's harder to get to that era because of the timeline as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a 3 to 5 years timeline in front of the companies to get to the market. But when you get there, that's the place.
Yep.
And then also think about the jobs we can create on that one.
Incredible stuff.
Software companies generally, when they grow, one job in a software company, say, equally create a one job outside of in the upstream or the downstream.
Yeah.
On the hardware side, it's something around 5.5 jobs.
So one for every person that's working on Mosaic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a 5.5 jobs.
Return eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Back
On
to
the
the economy.
upstream or downstream of that journey.
Yeah.
So that's a way. And it's not the jobs, usual jobs. They are
Yep.
high paid jobs.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Exactly. That can drive economy
Yeah.
on that one.
We are in a very interesting time right now. I knew when I saw this AI, the AI boom come,
Yeah.
I knew deep down it was not going to be software. We're going to see some incredible innovation in hardware. Aside from the chips, right? I know we're building the pickaxes so everyone can get rich. Are there any hardware companies that you're seeing today really utilizing AI to really kind of push ahead?
Yeah. So as an example, there are two companies, as I mentioned, the Blueman AI is a one of them that they develop their algorithm, but also the semiconductor and the chip on that one. The other company in the same era is called Applied Brain Research. World-based company.
Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they are also part of the venture lab ecosystem, and they are also in the same world of the AI that they are developing their solution. The other company that they have some AI solution. It's called Cyberwork Robotics. They are, and you saw their cleaners, and then the autonomous wheelchairs in outer space.
Yeah.
So how they brought the AI to that one, and again, that's the type of the solution you want to see that to tackle the main challenges we are facing. On that one. So I can see that they are grown on that area, but still not enough.
Yeah, we got to push harder.
Yeah, we should push harder.
How do we do that? What's gonna, I guess I mean, time is obviously a factor. We're gonna have to see returns on what we're doing here. The Canadian government recently granted Venture Labs, I think, 4.5 mil.
Yeah.
What is your plan with that, and how do you plan on distributing that cash?
So for sure, there are three areas that definitely. So it's a continuum of what we have done. In the last 5 years, and for this new funding, we have three clear plan around that one. One is about now we help the companies go through that prototyping to the commercialization path.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to tackle the market and then let them kind of get to the market.
Go to market.
Not because Canada is not a big market for any hardware company.
No.
Most of the hardware companies developing the global solution, global product. So it's important for the hardware companies to born locally.
Mm-hmm.
In the local ecosystem, think globally.
Yep.
That's what we call it.
How do we go to market? And that's where our partners fall in, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's how we can kind of get their hands kind of go to the other part of the world and then pitch their products.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one area. That's how we can expand, helping the companies expand their footprint in the global market. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the areas. The second area is about the investment. How we can make these companies more investment ready. So
prepping them,
cleaning
books up,
go through all the kind of the challenges that they might see when they sit in front of the investors, groom them to be more investable.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of another stream.
How to have these conversations.
So that's something that we put together a couple months ago, actually at Collision, a new initiative called Hard Tech Investor Network.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I saw that. I missed that when I was in Spain. I saw that.
Yeah,
I was
no, that was
Yeah.
a big move for us because we, to be honest with you, we tried to do something differently about the investment in the hard tech in companies in Canada.
Yep.
With all we have heard was about pushback, harder is hard. I hate that.
Yeah.
It's not. So because of the venture lab, it should not be like that one because that's what the value we
Yep.
bring in. But by the end of the day, it takes time, and
Yeah,
it's about the
100%.
mindset. It's about the educating the investment ecosystem about the opportunity, and it's not only about that they should hear it from us. They should
Yeah.
hear it from the successful investors, might not from Canada or from Canada that they did it, or from other places
Mhm.
that they have done that one. So that's what the concept behind the Hard Tech Investor Network. The Hard
love
Tech
that,
Investor Network is an investment club. It's an investment club to bring all the people and the VCs and angel groups and the family offices interested, excited, or having experience investing in the hard tech
Yep.
companies. Bring them all around the table and say that, okay, generally speaking, you might not see all of these deals come to you because no one know that you have some experience or expertise or interest in
Yep.
that one. So let's build a one-stop shop for the founders in that area to come and say that I'm here. Who is
Yep.
interested? And all of you have done that. And on top
love
of that, there are people experienced and experts in the areas.
Oh.
So now you can look at them and say that if Raymond Check,
Mhm.
as a founder of the co-founder of Anther AI, one of the successful AI chip
Yep.
companies in Toronto, around the table saying that, cool, I like it.
Mhm.
It means a lot to me as an investor that might not familiar with that one.
Yep.
So that's a one piece. The second piece, it's about the value Venture Lab can create around
Yep.
that one. As an subject matter expert,
Mhm.
now we can do some analysis. One of the reasons that hardware is not easy to digest for the investors, it's about the complexity of the product
Of
and
course.
also the market opportunity.
Mhm.
That's why Venture Lab can help a lot
Yep.
to simplify that one, to add more value by creating some analysis about the technology, about the life cycle, about the opportunity in the market, and then it would be eyes opener
Mhm.
for the investors to look at that one, and that's what Venture Lab can add value. And then imagine a company get invest through that investor net club. And now Venture Lab would be the place for them to go and say that, okay, now I know Venture Lab exists. I don't want to see my money go anywhere close to set up that lab. Venture Lab.
Do it much easier.
Do it exactly.
Skip the round. Let's go.
Skip the round.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Faster. Put them on the fast track.
Yep.
And make that commercialization happen. Because by end of the day, as an investor, I'm looking for my return.
Yep.
So that's the value we created that one. We launched that at Collision. We expect that we might get maybe kind of to the 10 members
15, yeah.
exactly. Now we have 40 plus.
That's incredible.
VCs, angel groups, family offices, and individuals.
They're all vetted.
And it's a nationwide. It's
That's
a
beautiful.
nationwide. We had our first investor day. And for any company looking for raising money in that area, hard tech, and I mean hard tech could be the hardware or any relation with the hardware solutions. It could be a software and hardware.
Yeah.
You can be the next presenter on those investor day.
Yeah.
Just reach out.
You can pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can pitch. We have a process. We have a right people around the table. So
Yep.
at least you will give it shot
Yep.
to your product to see that from
Yep.
that perspective, those experts investor like it or not. So that's the one that's what we believe that kind of that can make a change. And this is another stream that we are working on that one as part of that FedDev investment. And the last piece is about expanding our hardware lab.
Mhm. What's in the lab? Because we talked about lab. Give like a couple things. What are you most proud of?
So we have 4 labs. We have a lab that is all about the failure analysis, a number of the devices that you need to do for your functionality of your device, making sure that kind of you meet the expectation on the regulatory bodies. So that's the first lab we have it. The second lab is environmental lab. So it's more on for the products that need to be in the external environment, like the kind of the ECG testing, the shaking vibrate bed. We have also the temperature testing devices. So all of these kind of the equipments needed for for testing your product that to make sure that they are ready to go to the market, and your customer would be satisfied with the outcome of that one. And then we have a medical device lab. We call it MedTech lab. That's a lab equipped with the device microelectronic testing, as well as opportunity for the bio testing that you can bring them in the same place. And finally, we have a server farm. It's a $2.5 million server farm for companies that they are looking for using the design tools, and they need the supercomputers. That's the
I've
facility.
Seen that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a
that.
facility.
Yeah.
That's a facility you need with the GPUs and all the stuff, as well as if you are in the AI company, AI world, and
You need
to
access to that
train
too.
exactly with a secure local access. That's a place.
How much does that machine cost?
It's a $2.5 million
machine.
Yeah.
That's why it's a $10 million lab.
Yeah,
Everything just adds up.
Exactly. So it's a kind of to that only machine that you saw, those racks, is a $2.5 million.
And you get access to that. If you're a founder, you get access to something like that.
Exactly.
You're not going to get access to that somewhere else. So
that's it. And then for 2 years, remember.
2 years, not even a day.
Exactly. It's a 2 years. And another things that I want to add on the lab side is about our relationship with the Keysight. Keysight is one of the largest manufacturer on the testing equipment in the world. And what we do with them, we have a line of credit of the equipment. So imagine you're a founder. You walk in and say that Sep, Madura, Avinash, my colleagues, I'm looking for this tool. Ooh. It's not available. And it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. What should I do?
Yeah.
Don't panic. Yeah. It's just a call between you and the device, because we have a line of credit with Keysight that they provided to us that device for us for 6 months free of charge.
Yeah.
And it means that...
A little bit of interest or?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
So just bring it over.
Exactly. In less than 2 weeks, the device will be there.
So if I needed, because look, I want to build.
Yeah.
I only want to build on Mosaic.
Yeah.
And those are the type of things as an example.
For instance, so that's something that kind of to say that, okay, I'm looking for a device for testing, for instance, that material.
Yeah.
That Mosaic
whatever
provided. Yeah. Exactly. PPL.
The stuff that we stole.
Exactly. So and I say, okay, I need the device. Is it possible to bring it? And then we contact Keysight and said, Keysight, this is what one of our founders needed. And then they have the facility in Mississauga. They bring it to our facility, and then you can use it for free for 6 months and gone.
Beautiful. What's the future of Venture Lab in your opinion? Like, where do you think we're going? I mean, I think what I'm hearing is that it's time for Canada to take a more powerful stance on the world stage in terms of betting big on hardware. Part of that is also, maybe why just have one Venture Lab? Maybe we should have 8, right? Like, why just have one? Where do you think, the future of VL is going?
Yeah, definitely. We have a bold vision about where we are going with Venture Lab. And my personally believe that I want to see Venture Lab in the next 2 or 3 years be the only place to think, if you are a founder in the hardware globally, if you think about a place to go to build, grow, and scale, would be the Venture Lab.
That's incredible. Even from America, even our beautiful, incredible American friends coming down to Canada,
exactly,
and building here.
Exactly. Yeah. Why not? Why not? And there is nothing.
They would not like it. The Americans would not like that at all.
And to be honest with you, Zach, there is nothing comparable what we have, even in US.
Yeah.
The closest the place that you can go for the focus on the hardware are 2 accelerators, respective. They are in the States. The one is Silicon Catalyst.
Yep.
That they are based in Silicon Valley, and the other one is Hacks. Hacks.
Where's that?
Is in Newark.
Oh yeah, okay. NYC. Okay.
Yeah, but the point is that none of them has any facility like us.
How do we bring Americans over here?
So it's easy because
do we have any yet?
Yeah, so we have a couple of companies that they started to. So Novia is one of the companies that came to Canada and came to us.
Where are they from? What state?
Silicon Valley.
Okay.
They sold their business a couple of years ago for $1 billion, $1.5 billion. And they came to Canada, they came to Toronto, they came to Venture Lab right away.
It's not even just the equipment they can afford. They want to be near you guys.
Exactly. Right? They want to be around. They want to be around because of the talent. They set up the office, 30 people and all this stuff because of the talent, because of the network, because of the facility. And that's examples that we need to do more. And we are working with our colleagues as part of the trade commissioner for the foreign direct investment offices and to track more and more, because that's the position that we want to see Venture Lab has in the next 3 to 5 years.
A hub.
A hub.
Put Canada on the map.
A
All
global hard
Yeah.
tech lab that anyone, anywhere, think about it. They want to say that I dream to be part of the Venture Lab ecosystem. That's my hope, and that's a vision that we have here at Venture Lab around that one. It's in the village to make it happen.
Yeah.
Look at the Venture Lab as another kind of to the startup side.
Yeah.
That to grow, we need a village around us.
Well, the compounds are success,
exactly
right?
Private, public, and then kind of to the experts, industry. We are actively and proactively reaching out and try to kind of to make our footprint bigger and bigger and bigger. But we need to think.
Were there any catches?
Nationally?
Like, let's say I'm an American company. Like, I'm going to come here, get in the program for 2 years, like do my thing, and then come back to the States and like hub it in the States. Like, how do we keep them in Canada further? I guess that's what's being invested in and working on now.
Definitely the talent is a kind of it's a big driver around that one, and all the incentives you have here about the product development. Sometimes international founders call Canada as a R&D heaven. Because of all the kind of the cash funding and all the grants and all the stuff. So for them, building kind of to the presence here is a big win. All the immigration policies about attracting the talent.
Bringing as many people,
Exactly. That's another piece. And then there are high talents, there are the high value talents. So that's another piece. The incentives like Shred and all the stuff, it's another one on that one. One thing that would be a challenge as a capital.
Yeah. But we're going to work on that. We're going to build the network.
We have a hard network. Exactly. That's why we have that one. And we want to kind of tackle that one. We want to educate the investment ecosystem. Now we are working with great people in the investment ecosystem, like the NACO, like CBCA, like Elevate Festival, the CIX.
Connected everywhere.
Exactly. Try to kind of that inject that mindset to the investment ecosystem that it's not something that's good to do. It's a must to do.
We have to do it.
We'll have to do it.
Yeah. And to be honest, again, like it's who we are, Canadians. Like we used to go like toe to toe with like the Soviet Union in terms of like our we were toe to toe. Like it was like 100%. Sep, I want to thank you for coming on. I think we had an incredible conversation. You can learn more at www.venturelab.ca.
Exactly.
And you can also contact him on LinkedIn. We'll put his name in the description. And thank you so much for coming in. And God bless North America and God bless hard tech. And let's move, right?
Thank you very much, Zach, for having us and having me here. And definitely, it was a pleasure talking to you. And just for the people interested to learn about Venture Lab and also all the activities that we have around us, there are other ways also you can engage. We have a Hard Tech Summit in November. There is also an event Zach hosting on the hardware side that definitely you can learn. We all in it together. So if you're interested to learn more about all of that, please feel free to reach out to me individually or our website. And definitely Zach is a big believer around that one. So you can also reach out to him. He's our ambassador.
Thank you so much, Sep. Great chatting with you.
The same here. Thank you very much.